On TSL Nigeria TV, where we have news on politics, sports, entertainment, and so much more. Did you know that we also have feature stories where we talk about nothing but everything? It's the Breakfast Show on TSL Nigeria TV.
Good morning. It's a beautiful Monday morning, and one of the best ways to start your day is with the breakfast show. And my name is Adriel Omegede. I am not alone today because I always have the three musketeers.
Let it go!
Wow.
It's really hard on me being the only person that is not Raz.
Way to go!
I try. It's tough, but somebody has to do it.
Wow. Way to go!
Good morning, Joyce. How are you doing?
I feel fantastic. On Saturday, I was in this cab, and then there was a radio station playing all these throwback songs. I've been in a good mood since then. I've been in a good mood since then.
Just
really.
about very good memories
Right?
for you, right?
The nostalgia was crazy.
So, Neki, good morning. How are you doing?
I feel good. I'm optimistic about this new week. So
Okay. And are we also optimistic that the month is ending and it's the half of the year going?
Yes, the first half is going to be ending. The second quarter is going to be ending. There are some things I said off camera. I can't say them. Either way, you need to look at your goals. You need to find out things you need to do harder. What about your plans at the beginning of the year, the first day, or what do they call those things you make at the beginning of the year?
New Year resolution.
All the resolutions that you have made and broken.
I think some people's
them.
own ended like 3 days after the new year. But anyways,
Mine is still on. I think I'm doing great.
wow, go Joyce. Anyways, that's very, very interesting. Now, moving on to the newspaper review for today, we have The Guardian for June 24, 2019. And on the top story, we have lawyers split and suit against Code of Conduct Bureau. Serap seeks judicial review compelling order against agency. And then we have news is on page 6. We also have Commission indicts banks, recovers, remits 49 billion tax money. News on page 4. And we have Odigie, Oyegun, Oshomole disagree over Edo Assembly crisis. News on page 4. And Raw promises better Eagles performance against Guinea. Back page. All right, and then for our picture story, we have Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria Ibrahim Tako Muhammad, President Muhammadu Buhari, and Chairman Code of Conduct Bureau Professor Mohammed Issa. And for sports, we have Keita wants Silly Stars to step up against Nigeria. News on The Guardian Sports. For more information, please visit your local vendors and get the Guardian newspaper. All right, Joyce, what do you have for us?
I have with me the Vanguard for Monday, June 24, 2019. Major story, Edo State. Oyegun, Oshomole at each other's throats. Oshomole is Obaseki's biggest distraction. Oyegun. I don't need shortcuts to sustain my position. Oshomole. Insists Edo government must obey constitutional provisions on proclamation. And you can find this story on page 8. For our picture story, we have Oyegun versus Oshomole. Oyegun says Obaseki is the executive governor of Edo State and he should be allowed to exercise the powers vested in him by the law. To what purpose is this idea of the APC chairman putting the states under tension? Oshomole replies, Edo people know me and I know them. I don't need shortcuts to sustain my position in the system. But you know that there is nobody in Nigeria who is not open to accusations. The important thing is that he who accuses should give proof. Now, moving on, we have a banditry, violent attacks will soon come to an end. Buhari. And finally, how fear of rape forced nursing students out of school in Imo. You can find this story on page 13. Moving on to the sports Vanguard, Falcons stage sit-in at Women's World Cup over unpaid bonuses. 3 players miss flights back to their clubs and they are supposed to arrive in Nigeria today.
All right, Neki, what do you have for us?
Thank you. For the Nigerian Tribune, Monday, 24th June. Leading on the stories, DSS screens Buhari's ministerial nominees. You can find that story on page 3. Stop distracting Obaseki. Oyegun cautions Oshomole. And you can find the story on page 12. And going on, Falana felt FG over EU report on electoral reforms. Story also on page 3. Sellers controversy. Nigerians deserves better explanation from INEC. Yakasai says in page 33. And unremitted taxes. The Federation accounts get 48.7 billion naira. RNAFC says Ethiopia Air Chief killed in coup attempt. You can find the story on page 33. And for our picture story from left, Managing Director Julius Berger, Dr. Lars Richter, Company Secretary Mrs. Cecilia Madueke, and the Chairman Board of Directors Mr. Mutiu Sonmo during the company's 49th Annual General Meeting AGM in Abuja at the weekend. Photo by Sunday Osunrai. And for our last story, banditry, Army kills 19 arrest suppliers of food arms in Zamfara. You can find the story on page 2 and 4. Nigerian ranks 16th most dangerous country in the world. And it is just media hype, President says.
Okay.
What does that even mean? It's just media hype. Why would you hype something like that?
I think currently the UN has placed the ban on 21 states.
21 states
in Nigeria.
The United States actually placed the ban on 21
I
states.
think
Not
it's
in Nigeria.
calls for the federal government to really look into our security issues.
And then it's going crazy. The Mieti Allah is saying that they want to send Fulani headsmen into the southeast to pose as vigilantes. And the question everybody's raising is, have they been able to secure the north? Every other day there's fresh killings in the north. If they were so strong in being defense mechanisms, why are they not defending
They
the
should
north?
have been able to eradicate the bandits.
Exactly. I know them now say they want to bring them into the southeast. No need.
We don't need you.
Anyways, I'm going to go down to the Mr. and Mrs. for today. So, okay, I just found out today that Mrs. name is Cynthia. So we now know, you see why. Anyways, so Mr. says, Cynthia, what kind of soup is this? It looks like the Red Sea. And then Mrs. says, that shouldn't be a problem. After all, your name is Moses. So you should be able to cross the Red Sea. And then we're going to end this here with our history for today. Today's history for today is the best thing that's happened to me this entire year. I'm lying, but either way, it's really, really close. So today, June 24th, on this day in 1987, Argentinian player Lionel Messi was born. And Lionel Messi plays as the forward for Barcelona, and he's also the captain for both Barcelona and the Argentinian national team. He's an amazing guy. I love him so much. Now, he's also widely regarded as one of the greatest players of all time. He has a record, he has a record tying 5 Ballon d'Or awards, 4 of which he won consecutively, and a record 6 European golden shoes, a club record 34 trophies for Barcelona, including 10 La Liga titles, 4 UEFA Champions League, 6 Copa del Rey. Now, he also owns the record for most goals in the La Liga and most hat-tricks in the UEFA Champions League and most assists in La Liga and Copa America. He has scored over 695 senior career goals for club and country. He also enjoys philanthropy and charity aimed at vulnerable children and partners with UNICEF for that cause, alongside his own charitable organization, the Leo Messi Foundation. He's an amazing man. I love him so much. And let's just say from all of us at TS Nigeria, happy birthday to the GOAT.
Lionel Messi.
The GOAT, yo. The actual GOAT. Big Daddy. Oh my God.
I like how Joyce is so excited
I love him
today.
so
And because
much.
of the fact that he has impacted, not just because he's well known, but because of the
He's
impact.
doing a whole lot.
Now, when I was reading Lionel Messi's story, he grew up having a growth hormone issues, and that did not determine how far he really went in his football career. And not just that, him having a football academy and impacting his country, and so is worth celebrating.
Yes, happy birthday, Messi.
So the greatest player alive, the greatest to ever do it, the GOAT. All of our goats should bow down. Yes, shade included.
All right, so that's all we're going to have for this segment. This morning has really been exciting. Joyce, I like you.
You're welcome. I tried.
All right, for our future story today, is age really a number? That's what we're talking about today when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
To TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day.
And we're are back. This is still the Breakfast Show, only on TSL Nigeria TV. Now, in our feature story today, we're looking at a very important issue, not just in relationship, but cut across every segment and aspect of the life. Is age really a number? Now, a school of thought believes that age counts in terms of how the men and women tend to mature psychologically, biologically, and chronologically. While another school of thought believes that amongst all of this set of maturity is still key despite age. So, ladies, we'll be discussing this morning. Do age really count? Is age really important? Are there factors that we should look into while you're looking at age? Ladies.
The question is this, that I think we should just count. If you guys are in the world that believes that age is just a number and everybody can flow, I mean, can you make body with a 45-year-old man? You can't. Can you? Can you?
You mean dance? Serious dance?
No, there are some 40 years old that are really in
that's why I said 45.
That's okay, 45.
I'm saying 50. I mean, if he does, it's back not paying him. Because he will.
If he's fit, he will be able to do that.
Older people
How many of them are fit?
There's some old age, rather 50-year-old people that learn to imbibe what happens generations younger.
Exactly.
What is the percentage of that to the entire pool?
The question is, Joyce, are you big on age?
Oh, I think I am. I like to think that I'm not sometimes because I like to pretend like every other Nigerian that age doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, age does matter. It matters for me. I feel like it doesn't matter for Ejiro.
It matters.
Wow.
It matters because according to research that I made, 30% of unions that happen in Africa, they have a lot of age gap compared to the 8% of unions that happen in terms of age gap. And so age is a big deal in our African society.
Yes, it is. But I'm a bit on the fence when it comes to age because you're dealing with human beings. Now, you could have a 25-year-old that thinks like a 40-year-old. Because of the, in terms of how society has made her grow or him grow. Now, certain circumstances make people grow faster. For me, now, you could have grown up in a place where you didn't have the kind of privileges you should have. So at the age of 15, 16, you're already thinking of how your life should look by the time you're 20 because there are certain struggles you don't want to experience anymore. So when it comes to age, you're dealing with people. You have to understand, where are these people coming from? So it's a bit for me.
It's dicey.
It's dicey because I'm on fence because I don't want to think that you could just judge someone because of his age. Now maturity counts.
As much as maturity counts, I'm big on age. Okay, I'm not like I'm super big on age, but I am big on age in the sense that there is how the mind of a man and the mind of a woman works in terms of how we mature. Like you said, experiences will mold your mind or mold you into whom you are today. Experiences have molded each and every one of us, giving us ideologies and school of thought on how we see life generally. But I'm big on age because the truth is, I like the fact that I could get involved with somebody that is maybe 2 years older than me because of the fact that we have the same ideologies in culture, in music, and TV shows, and all of that is happening in our generation. But the truth is, sometimes I want to look out for an experience in certain areas that I am not experienced in a man.
So that means I would say, I could suggest you look for someone higher. But anyways,
this is where I'd like to come in this conversation. Now, I've noticed, if any of you have noticed, if you've been in arguments about things, about anything now, usually the person that is on the wrong side of the argument usually brings up a case of extremities to compare. The thing that happens once in a blue moon to compare. Like when you say, oh, we're speaking about rape, and then somebody say, men get raped too. First of all, 1 in 5 women most likely will get sexually assaulted in their life. And in the amount of the men that actually get assaulted in their life, most of them are assaulted by other men. Do you understand? So people always bring that 1%. That's what you brought when you said that there's some people that would have experienced something in their life really young. Very few people, let me add, but they would have experienced something in their life.
Few people.
No, let me tell you why there are very few people and why age is extremely important. Most likely there's going to be somebody from a really poor home that maybe lost both parents, became an orphan at the age of 14 and had 2 younger ones that he probably had to take care of. He's going to mature really quickly. right? And so he's going to must have experienced more than his other friend or his other age mate that is 14 that did not have the same life experiences. But generally, there are things that are supposed to happen to you at a point in your life that will happen to the bulk of people at only that specific point in your life. So minus the fact that there is this few people, there is this bracket of people that had early experiences that made them mature quickly, there is a bigger ratio of people that did not have those experiences that need to get to a specific age in their life before they're going to experience that thing. And that is the bigger ratio of people that the bulk of us are going to meet.
Which is why I said I'm on the fence.
And for that reason, age is going to have to be relevant. There are a lot of people that got into university at the age of 15 or 14.
Yeah,
do you understand?
And so
but in your class, there will be that one guy that is 34.
Exactly.
And his experiences are entirely different.
Yes.
And the experience of him in that class is not going to be the same as the experience of every other person.
Exactly.
There is going to be a disconnect. So for me, age really does matter. A lot of Nigerians always like to think age is just a number. It doesn't matter.
Your age.
For somebody like me, I'm very big on intimacy. The kind of intimacy that I'm really into is conversations. I like to talk. And I like to listen. And I like to be in a place where we could understand each other. I like to make weird references. I'm quite sarcastic. So imagine being with a person that is about 15, 20 years older than you, and you're making references and they don't get it. Or they are making references that you don't get. For example, sometimes when we are chilling, all three of us, we sing some songs that are old school songs and we vibe. My mother's old school songs are different from my old school songs. When she vibes to her old school songs, I've never heard them in my life. Do you know this song? Make you the look road before you cross. My sister sings that song. I don't know it. So these little things actually do matter when you're building relationships. So for me, age is an important factor. If we don't have to be age mates, but let's just be in a space where we can understand each other.
For me, you are dealing with people, and for me, I think maturity counts. And then you have to also think of the fact that you're dealing with people. Now, aside from the fact that we have to talk about all these things, and it's big on me. So you decide how far do you, what age, would you do 5 years? Do you have people who actually want 10 years older than them?
Yes.
You want people who want like 3 years? No, I can't do more than 3 years. I can't do more than 4 years. But the people who really want people who are really mature than them too. Now, because of our society, people want matured people, so they have someone who can actually take care of them. Now, there's a notion of if we have same generation, which we have actually most times, that our generation, the people in our generation that we probably want to date are people who haven't really gotten certain things that we are looking out for ourselves. So we are kind of skeptical to date maybe a guy who's 2 years younger or 2 years older, because you're like, we're still in the same, maybe we're still trying to get the same things. So for me, when it comes to age, it's a bit, I'm really on the fence on the age. I can date a guy who's 2 years younger than me. I can date a guy who's 5 years older than me. So for me, it's maturity. How does he think? How does his mind work? What are the things that he's planning? What are the things that he has? What has he set as his goals? Someone who is mature, can he handle certain things in life? Now, when this kind of challenges come, or that kind of challenges come, will he be able to handle it? Those are the things that I am looking out for. Now, I do not want to now close you into a box and say, please, because you're 2 years, you're 5 years younger. Okay, I won't date you 5 years younger, but I'm just saying that hypocrisy is I'm just saying that if that's the case, I need to know what you can handle. What can you handle? Because life can be tough and challenging. So I need to know what you can handle. So when push comes to shove, what can you handle? That's why I'm a bit, I say no.
But in the explanation that you've given, you've subconsciously pointed to the direction that you want an older person. Subconsciously, you didn't come out to say I want an older person.
I want someone who is mature.
When people say mature, they mean old.
They don't mean old.
Mature is usually code for old.
Everybody gets mature in different
perspective. Going back to what I said before, irrespective of the fact that they're going to be the 5%, the 2%, the 3% that got really, really matured or really, really experienced early enough,
there are many who will not.
The bigger
percentage
need to get to a specific age to attain that.
I agree with you. We are not going to date the bigger percentage, are we?
As a millennial, personally, I feel like if you found yourself where you subjected yourself to not finding a person that is intellectually mature enough for you, I blame you wholeheartedly. Because we have so much technology and so much in our space for you to find your community easily. You can find your community anywhere. Now, when I just got done with university, the bulk of my friends were all Lagosians, so they all went back to Lagos, and I was alone. And it was a really sad, lonely time for me.
Okay.
I felt like I couldn't find my tribe. When I was in school, they always called me Lagosian. They were always so surprised that I don't live in Lagos. They're like, oh my God, you're so different. You don't say February and Yam, so you're not like them. Do you understand? So for a while, I was really alone. And then when I really stepped out finally to meet people, I found out that my tribe actually does exist. And they were in my age bracket, and they were go-getters, and they were people that were ready to do what it takes to have their life in a place that they want their life to be. They had plans, and they were all in my age bracket. So I feel like we've clouded ourselves with the idea that a person has to have been old, a person has to have had this age before they can start thinking this way. You can genuinely not know what a person can take unless you are there to experience them taking it.
The truth is, our society is very different. Now, we have grown up in a way that our mindset has been formed and shaped to, accept or to see these certain things as realities. For women, why most women will tell you they don't want to get involved with younger men, it's because of their biological clock. Now, imagine I am dating somebody that is 2 years or a year older than I am. The woman begins to think, when I'm 40 years old, I will start looking like his mother. Or she
that's a year younger. A year younger can't be. A year older can be thinking that the mother
is laughing in your face right now.
A year younger can say that.
Hold on.
For example, like
Look at the example of the one. I'm talking of Genevieve is one of the 1%, that we need to, and come on, she's okay than an average Nigerian woman. She's comfortable, she's okay.
I'm saying that okay to describe Genevieve is ending me, but go on.
I'm saying that the biological age of a woman, start ticking at the age of 30. So a woman is already conscious that
I do not believe all these things you're saying. But
now I am saying that when you go out, the bulk of what you do, audience that you were talking about, they believe that a woman has to get married to someone that is older, because when I am older as a woman, I don't want to be looking like my husband's mother when we go out and people are looking at that. Now your wife is that.
I don't think that's even possible.
I am saying that most women, they think that way. They are saying that, the man
this is not you, this is
not me. I'm not saying that is me. Age is a big deal for me, because I feel that there is a way a woman thinks.
I'm going to come in here and say that our generation don't think like that anymore. Because first of all, we're dealing with women who are go-getters. We're dealing with women who says, I want to achieve this and this and this at this point in my life. This is the generation we are actually dealing with. This set of millennials are people who are saying, this is what I want to achieve in my life. And so therefore, the reason why I am going for a man is because he thinks like me. He relates like me, and he's mature like me. I do not want to, because I'm a go-getter. Now, you have women in our generation who are willing to achieve so much, even if they don't get their master's or their PhD, but there's a picture before them that they're putting in front of them. So we don't have the bulk of women thinking like they're going to get married to men that they're going to look older than anymore. Maybe in our mother's generation, or maybe in our older siblings' generation, where they felt like, we had to, streamline ourselves and be like our mothers. No, but in our generation, we are go-getters. We want to achieve so much that we don't think like that anymore. And I believe that there are so many women out there that are saying that I want to date a man because he's an achiever and a go-getter. And if he's intimidated by my success, then let him not come close to me.
And if we're going to be frank, when you marry somebody that is so much older than you, you're going to your child's graduation, his daddy is coming there with a full head of white hair, he's 50, all his classmates' daddies are there 33, 32, and your daddy is coming there 47, 48, looking way older than you. I do not believe that a woman's biological clock is at a problem at 30. I absolutely do not believe that whatsoever. That is the West African ideology that has been impacted into it. Because we see a lot of Western women that at the age of 30, 40, they're not even bearing children. They're doing so much with their life. So I don't think that you should squeeze yourself or make yourself uncomfortable because you feel like you need to do this at this time, even though I believe that time is a factor. I don't think, and I don't think when people say time is wasted, I don't think they're lying. time is genuinely a factor. But if you're going to decide the bulk of your life experiences to tune it in one direction because you're so terrified of time, time is still going to walk away from you. Now, speaking about time, we've spent a lot of time thinking about relationships. We're going to round up right now, but the question is, does age matter for your career? Now, this is a question that a lot of people, we like to dream, we like to think, we like to experience. People say it's never too late to pursue your dream. It's never too late to be that thing that you want to be. I love aspire to perspire as much as the next guy, but I also like to be very, very realistic. Okay. There are a lot of careers, there are a lot of ladders that you cannot get to in your career, and your age is a determinant. Ladies, let me hear you.
Well, for me, it depends on what career you're pursuing, and I feel like you can reach out for so much, but it depends on the goals and plans you set out for at a particular age. Now, you can decide to say you want to be a singer, you should start early. Because these days people look forward to younger generation, a bulk of people doing music right now. But even though maybe you get to 60, you can still venture into music. There are a lot of people who do that. But there are certain careers that, age can be a limitation.
I don't want to be a breakout single 50-year-old.
Age is key. When it comes to the banking industry, they look out for the young, vibrant people that can go out and sell for customers, meet targets and all of that. In many fields, age is the key. Age is key, like the younger age and all of that. And then when you get into maybe in your mid-30s, they feel like, okay, your energy may not be as, productive as when you were in your 20s. Yeah. But the truth is, age should never be a barrier in any, because looking at Taraji P. Henson, she was 26 when she went to Los Angeles with her child, when she was giving her story, getting her award, and now she's in Hollywood Hall of Fame. Talking about it, she said she went into many auditions and she was bounced away because they felt she was too old, but she broke out of it. So don't make age like the limiting thing. You can still push for many other things. You just need to do what you have to do to get to where you're going to. You must not say, okay, because I want to be a media personality, you just sit and you're waiting. You could just do other jobs, equip yourself, and you learn. But age basically really matters, but don't put it on yourself as a limiting factor.
Okay, I think we've heard it all. Personally, I do believe strongly that age really matters. I mean, I love Taraji P. Henson. She's my favorite thing since sliced bread. I think we have a Nigerian version of that, Funke Akindele. I knew her from I Need to Know years ago, and I think it was up until she did Jennifer and Jennifer's Diaries that she really became the powerhouse that she is today. But that is just one out of 100 or 1,000 cases. Yeah. So in most times, age does matter. Sometimes you're even too young for a career. So it's not always I'm just too late to do it. Sometimes you're just too young to do it, and it happens like that. So yes, there's not going to be a point of your life that you're going to have these three things: time and energy, and maybe the resources to do it. Maybe if you're young, you might have time and energy, and you might not have the amount of resource. If you're old, you might have resources, you're not going to have time and energy on your side. And maybe in your middle, you have resources, you have time and your energy, but you have a lot of dependence. These are all the things that factor. So no matter the place you found yourself in life, it seems like things are not going your way, just know that it is not your fault. This is how life works, and you're going to have to make the best of the things you have available to you. Just make sure that if you are a young person, you learn to plan. A lot of young people are not prepared for their life at all. I remember we had the conversation about going into the unemployed world. A lot of Nigerian youth were seen as unemployable because they were never ready for the career or the world that was out there. So at every point in your life, know that everything you do matters. Don't think it's too small. The TV series you're watching right now, it matters. The kind of music you're listening to right now, it matters. The kind of parties you're attending right now, it matters. The people that you're hanging out with, it matters. The people that you're dating, the connections that you're making, every step, everything you do, every misunderstanding, everything matters. So I believe them to make sure that age and time is not a factor. You need to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing, and you're very determined with everything you're doing. My name is Joyce Chicks. It's been amazing.
I'm Ejiro Mogedi.
Of course, Neki Moyo.
We'll be here again tomorrow to turn it up. It's a Tuesday. We're going to have something really, really exciting. You guys cannot wait. If you're politically inclined, you want to be around for tomorrow's conversation, we'd love to have you. Make sure you have yourself a lovely day, and good morning.